My name is Casey Sentek, and I'm the Marketing and Communication Specialist for Denver Online High School. And thanks for joining me for this virtual parent orientation. I have a lot to get through, and so I'll try to get through it as quickly as possible, but we'll also include the presentation slides, and all of this can be found within Schoology and also on our website. So we'll get to it. I'll go ahead and first share my screen. All right, and from the beginning, welcome. Throughout this presentation, within the actual slide docs, anything that's in blue is actually linked, so you can actually click on that blue text and it will bring you directly to the links within our website. All right, to start out, our motto at Denver Online High School is to do more, and we kind of brought that to Denver Online High School after we realized that the flexibility of online education really allows our students to do more than they might be able to do at a traditional school, meaning that our students have really cool stories. They all kind of have a reason why they come to Denver Online. So some of them are pursuing different athletics, they're competitive athletes or competitive dancers. Some of them are in bands. Sometimes some of them are traveling abroad. Some of them are international models or working or raising kiddos of their own. Or some of them are gifted and talented that are just bored in a traditional high school, so they're pursuing college. There's all of these different reasons kind of why students come to Denver Online. And this also includes students that are overcoming physical or social emotional challenges. And this online flexibility actually allows them to kind of do more because it allows them that flexibility to do schoolwork around all these other things in their life. So one of my favorite things to do in my job is that I get to do student highlights throughout the year of all of our awesome students. And so you'll get to see those throughout the course of the year. So watch out for those. We love our faculty. So this is our faculty at a glance. I always tell families that it's not a huge faculty, but it's a faculty that really cares a lot about students. And I hope that your time at Denver Online will really show you in that, and that you'll really feel that coming away from our school, that our faculty really tries really hard to get to know every student and figure out what moves them and try to help them secure the pathway that best fits their life. I'd just like to brag on some of our faculty because we have a really awesome faculty. On the left there, that's Casey Burton, that's our counselor. He was awarded Counselor of the Year by the Colorado Department of Education for online and blended learning schools. Below that is one of our math teachers, Mr. Palomino, and he won Teacher of the Year by the CDE. And everyone loves Mr. Burton, our counselor, but I definitely think that having a really strong math teacher is really important at our school, especially because math is hard in general, and it's even harder in an online school, and so having a good math teacher on board is really important. So we're really proud of Mr. Palomino as well. But one of the things that makes him so special is that he is literally always available to our students, which is so great. They can be on completely different time zones as us, and he somehow makes it a priority to make sure that they get all their questions answered pretty much at any time of day. And so he's pretty great as well. Down to the right is one of our English teachers, Miss Jessica Glynn, and she was highlighted by the district for basically living the core value of she's really good at collaborating with a lot of different outside organizations. She brought in, and she's really good at creating community within our school, which is really important because as it's primarily online school, we needed that sense of community brought in. So she works with Lighthouse Writers Workshop and Art from Ashes, different workshops that we actually come in to our school building and work with our students face to face. And so, and she was also awarded a Teacher of the Year by CDE as well. Up above that is our principal, Mr. Ian Jones, and he was recognized by the district for living our core value of collaboration. Because one thing that he's really good at is trying to create connections within our community to better support students in whatever pathway they choose. So he's always establishing new connections and just really trying to get an edge for all of our students, regardless of what pathway they're really pursuing. He's really good at that. And then finally, we have Miss Elisa Narishnaya, which is our art teacher, and she actually got the Mayor's Award for Innovation in Arts and Culture, which was really cool. But they loved her ability to really bring art into the digital space, into the digital learning, and she does it really well. And she also works with the Denver Art Society. She's a contributing artist, so we always have 2 different art shows throughout the year where students can actually showcase their work at the Denver Art Society. And so it's a really cool opportunity, and she also plugs them into different other opportunities as well to show off their art, and sometimes even get paid for it, which is really cool. Just to highlight some special opportunities, one of the first things that we're really doing at Denver Online, and really this last year really started to take hold of this, is Career Connect. And what Career Connect is it allows students to actually choose it allows our students to choose a pathway that is related to, hopefully, a career that they want to pursue. So there's all these different pathway options. So those are in orange throughout there. So there's like an Engineering Connect, a Med Connect, Ed Connect, all these different opportunities. And so they kind of all relate to the Colorado Career Cluster model. And so within that, there's CTE courses, so career and technical education courses that students will take, and they'll eventually get to potentially pursue internships and apprenticeships and certifications. It just kind of depends on what pathway they choose. So at Denver Online, we actually provide 2 of the pathways. So that's Tech Connect and Creative Connect, as shown here on this slide. However, if they did choose any of the other pathways, that's totally fine. They would just take their CTE courses through a different school, meaning that most of them, I think, are through the Career Education Center. So they just take their CTE course through the Career Education Center or another high school that is providing that pathway. So that's not a big deal. We have a couple different students that are doing that same thing. But the ones that we actually provide, which our teachers actually teach the CTE courses, are this Tech Connect and Creative Connect pathway. And so as you can kind of see, there's different levels to the program. So there's different courses that they'll go through that are the CTE courses. And then eventually you can also see the work-based learning opportunities on the right there. So the first step is the Career Explore events, which are basically field trips that are related to those different career pathways. And there's also some virtual career exploration as well in that. And then level 2, the Career Coach Mentoring Program. I'll kind of talk about it in the next slide. So there's a mentorship program, there's also internships and apprenticeships available, and finally on that level 3, there's those internships and apprenticeships as well. So just depending on what the student wants to pursue, there's opportunity that kind of matches that. So for this, so the Career Connect Explore events, like I said, they're basically a field trip. They're a 2 to 3 hour career exploration event where you're shadowing what's really happening, in that industry. And then the Career Connect launch is a 100 to 120 hour internship with a company partner. And there's lots of opportunities throughout the year. And it's mainly for students that have completed at least 1 year of the Career Connect pathway. So one thing that's really new and exciting for us this year is that we have a DPS Career Connect coach mentorship program with Amazon. So it's going to be super cool. And we're actually going to have our mentors from Amazon so they connect one-on-one with the students. And so it's just a super cool opportunity for our students to connect with people that are in the industry to help them just really explore their pathways and really get a head start in their career. So that's super exciting. There's also these other academic opportunities throughout the year. A lot of times we bring in these outside organizations and workshops to actually happen during Connection Days and grad prep Fridays, where these organizations will come in and actually teach the workshops, and students will get credit for attending those workshops. So we work with Art from Ashes, which is a poetry workshop. We do Lighthouse Writers Workshop, which is a creative writing workshop where a published author comes in and teaches that. Drawing on Air is similar to Art from Ashes, but it's more creative in that there's actual like physical art that they can do as well. We've done a Create Your Own Business workshop, which is an entrepreneurial workshop. Outside of that, we have the Denver Online High School Art Show, so like I talked about at the Denver Art Society. And so if students actually contribute art to the art show, then they'll get credit for that. We also have Ballarat Outdoor Education Program, where if you're familiar with DPS at all, a lot of students will go to this outdoor education center called Ballarat. And what our high school students do is they're actually leaders for that. So they'll actually lead a group of elementary school students at Ballarat and just help them learn about everything, on the hikes, about the plants and animals, and about how to make different cool things. And it's a really fun thing for our students to get to do. And so they can receive credit for that as well. Some college and career readiness opportunities, just to kind of cover it so you've heard it at least once. One of the biggest things that I try to make sure that all of our families know, regardless if you heard anything else from me, I hope you hear this because it's such a good deal. So your students can earn tuition-free college credit. It's umbrellaed under a thing called concurrent enrollment. So how that works is students actually will go to whatever community college they'd like. They can kind of choose whichever one they want to go to in Colorado. We also have a partnership with CSU Global, and so students can also take online college courses as well. But when they take those college courses, they're receiving college credit for that course, but they're also receiving double high school credit for every course they take through concurrent enrollment. And so that's awesome because they can kill two birds with one stone, but it's also tuition free. So you're getting all this college credit out of the way, paid for, and it's not really costing you anything for tuition. So that is a really cool opportunity. Also with that is if students are able to establish 12 college credits by the end of their senior year through concurrent enrollment, they are eligible for this program called Ascent. And what Ascent is it allows our students to go a whole extra year, completely tuition free to community college the year after they graduate high school. And so let's say that they wanted to go to a state college. Let's say they wanted to go to Colorado State University. They can still go to Colorado State University. The Ascent program would just pay the tuition rate for a community college rate, and the family would pay the difference. And so there's just a lot of really cool things that happen within concurrent enrollment. And we really try to push our students to really pursue that if they're ready for it. We have students that are taking concurrent enrollment, just even starting their sophomore year, really. We actually had a student a couple years ago that actually graduated with his 4-year bachelor's degree at the same time he graduated with his high school diploma because he was able to just get so much college credit through concurrent enrollment. Now, we don't really, push our students to do that, but we do have quite a few students that will graduate with their associate's degree in college, which is pretty cool. So outside of that, we also have work study opportunities where if a student is working and getting paid for it, basically they just have to fill out some information about it, get some things signed, but they can get credit for that, which is awesome. Independent study is basically if a student is pursuing something that doesn't necessarily fall within any of our courses, we can always build an independent study course around that to help them earn credit for these things that they're already doing. On the right there is scholarships. We do have a scholarships page off of our website. So if you ever need, if you're trying to pursue scholarships and you just don't know where to start, you can always go there. I try to post things as often as they come when scholarships pop up. And so you can always start there on our website. And it's right under the resources tab on our website. All right, and then we have one required event throughout our year, and that event is called Planning for Success, and it's a college and career readiness conference. And so that is going to be happening this year on Saturday, February 8th, 2020 at North High School, and it's from 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. So there's a lot of things that happen on that day, and it's a really exciting day. We love that day for our students and their families because we ask that all of our students come and at least one parent. But basically how it starts off is it kicks off with a motivational keynote speaker, basically helping our students to dream big and to just really go for it. Whatever that looks like in their life is just go for it. And then after that, the day breaks out into 3 different rounds of breakout workshops. And those workshops are everything from related to college scholarships, to internship opportunities, to volunteer opportunities, to military options, to entrepreneurial workshops, to just you name it. There's kind of the gamut on just helping students whatever stage that they're at. We want to help them get to that next step. And so we really try to create a wide range of workshops for our families to engage in. And students and parents can go to whatever workshops they want. They don't have to stick together. They can, but they don't have to. So we have 3 rounds of those. So each person will go to 3 different workshops that they choose. And then from there, the day concludes with a big college fair where a whole bunch of different colleges from around Colorado are represented. And we also give out 2 different scholarships to students that they can use in whatever pathway they choose. And also breakfast and lunch is all provided as well. And we give out a lot of free prizes that are donated from the community as well. So it's a great, great day. So put that on your calendar. Next up is we have service learning. So we have, if a student is volunteering somewhere, so meaning that they're not getting paid, then they can do service learning. They can get service learning credit. Now it's pretty much the same thing as the work study credit, only work study students are getting paid, obviously. And so, so if a student is volunteering, make sure that you connect with Counselor Casey Burton or Student Advisor Nadia Coleman to get credit for that. And just to highlight one of the things that we do as a school is we have a Children's Hospital Colorado service learning program where our students will actually work in teams during Connection Days, and they'll work in their team to basically complete a mock grant application and create a detailed budget, logistics plan, and then they'll eventually lead out these projects at the Children's Hospital. And so we always love this project every year because a lot of students have been there or are currently going to Children's Hospital. So it's a great way to give back and just realize that and help our students to realize that they can make a difference and that they matter. And it's one of those things that we just really love at Denver Online. All right, next thing is being a school volunteer. So we have a couple different ways that you can volunteer or get connected here. The first one is a collaborative school committee. If you'd like to get involved, please contact Principal Ian Jones. Basically what that is it's a combination of faculty members from Denver Online, parent representatives, student representatives, and then we try to get community representatives as well. But basically they're just helping guide the school. And so we meet once a month. And we just meet virtually via Zoom. And so that's a good time for everyone to just give their feedback on what's working, what's not, just trying to, figure out different events that we should host or how we should make those events better. They have a say in scheduling. It's just really a great time to give a lot of feedback, and we do use that feedback to make the school hopefully better in the next year or the next coming months. So yeah, collaborative school committee. We would love for you to join if you are interested. The next thing that we have is the superintendent parent forum. We always need a school representative for that as well. Now this school superintendent parent forum is basically an event that happens every month that's put on by the district. And they always have a different theme for the event, something that they're covering. And so it just kind of depends on which month it is, what they're covering. But it's a cool time to connect with other parents that are representatives from all the other schools and to hear from the superintendent and just kind of get a feel of what's going on at the district level. And then we just ask that representative that is there on behalf of Denver Online reports back to us and lets us know what's going on and maybe give their own feedback on maybe how that how that can be related to Denver Online and our students and families. So if you'd like to be our superintendent parent forum representative, just contact me, Casey Sintek, and I will get you involved. And then next up, our fundraiser. We really only do one real fundraiser throughout the year, and that's with King Soopers. And so it actually used to be, we used to sell cards, but that actually just stopped happening within the last couple of months. And so now you can actually, if you have a King Soopers account, you can actually go on. So if you have like a rewards number, then you can actually go on to your account, just go onto it online and create an account. And then you can basically link it. And it's basically, you're just linking the community partner and finding Denver Online in that community partner area. And then basically anytime that you use your King Soopers rewards number, then it's giving money back to our school. So check that out, and hopefully there will be more to come with that in the next couple of months. All right, and then clubs. So we just have, this is just to highlight that we have a lot of clubs for our students to get involved in. We have everything from National Honor Society, which is students have to have just like a 3.0 GPA to join, but it's a service-based organization. So get involved with that if the student, has 3.0 GPA or higher. It's a really great organization to get involved in, and also just to have on a student resume as well. We have the art club, which basically is mostly just providing opportunities for students to get connected with the community and showcase their art in different ways. And anytime we have that Denver Art Society art show, she'll make sure that all of our art club students get represented there and that kind of thing. We have our Student Action Association, which is basically like our student leadership team. And we ask them to lead a lot of our events at Denver Online. Ballarat Outdoor Education, we do have a group for it. It's not necessarily a club, but it's like a group in Schoology where you'll learn about all the information about Ballarat. Make sure you don't miss out on all of the deadlines, that kind of thing, for getting enrolled in Ballarat and all that. We have a gaming club where they do different games. We have a GSA, and they really that's a cool club because they have like a lot of conversations. They try to get involved in different parades and different events and that kind of thing. So and everyone's welcome in that club, of course, in all of these clubs, pretty much. And then we have our journalism and newspaper club, which they actually have like an online newspaper that they put out a couple times a year, so that's pretty cool. And so you can always contribute to that as well, even if you weren't in a newspaper club. But it's a cool way to just practice journalism skills, so both photography and writing. It's pretty cool. We also have a performance club. That's one of our main clubs, honestly, at Denver Online. They always do a play or a musical or both. They also usually put on a student talent show as well. So lots of fun things and ways to get, just to perform, to sing, to dance, to act. It's a lot of fun. It's one of my favorites. We also have a book club if you're interested in reading. We have a pregnant and parenting club. And again, this isn't necessarily a club per se, but it is a group in Schoology. And sometimes they get together for different events. And it is also just a way to provide resources for our students that have babies of their own. And also, just to get them connected to resources and each other. And it's a fun place to post pictures and that kind of thing if you wanted to. We have an altered reality club, and that's basically for all of our tech students that are interested in all that. We also have some virtual reality equipment now, and it's just going to be so much fun this year. We also have an anxiety group, so students that are having, struggling with anxiety, which is, quite a few of our students, honestly. That's a really cool place for you to just feel safe and just a lot of great things happening in that group. So check that out and contact Jamie Smith if you're interested. Just so you know about them, we do have just fun things in general. So we do have a Facebook account, we have Twitter, and we have YouTube, and they're all active. And so check out what's happening on there. We post pictures, different events that are coming up. We do student highlights. So just a lot of fun things. So make sure to check those out and follow us. We have just fun events throughout the year. So we have our winter holiday party, which is in December. We have our back to school barbecue. This year it was crazy and it ended up pouring, but it was still fun. It was great. But we always have that. We have different spirit days. So yeah, just a lot of fun things that are, are just great to have at a school. We also have monthly field trips, and so those are always free. We have monthly field trips that are just put on by Denver Online High School, and so they're everything from visiting colleges to we go to like the Denver Aquarium. Sometimes we do like science labs. We'll be going to just lots of, be going rock climbing. So just lots of fun things throughout the year. We also have career explore events. So those are outside of it, but those are also some more field trips. So those are part of the Career Connect realm. And so we have monthly field trips, and then we have the Career Explore events as well. So they're kind of two different things, but they're all cool field trips. So get involved in all of them. We have a lot of resources, so you just want to make sure that we cover it at least once so you guys know about it. So first off, we have a school calendar, and I like to push people to our school calendar because everything is on there pretty much that's happening within our school. So everything throughout the entire year, all of our connection days, all of the days that we won't have school, grad prep Fridays, graduation rehearsal, any of our field trips, they're pretty much all on there for the rest of the year. And so please check our school calendar. That can be accessed off our website under resources, under the resources tab. But our calendar is the same exact calendar is also in Schoology. So if you have a Schoology account, you can also just click on the top right-hand corner of your Schoology account once you're logged in. And there's a little calendar icon. You can click on that, and then make sure that you pick Denver Online High School in the drop-down menu. So it's showing the Denver Online High School calendar. But yes, it's all the same information, either on the Google Calendar or the Schoology calendar. It's all the same information. It's all linked. And so, but please look at that so you know what's going on and that you can actually plan your life ahead of time by looking at that. We also have a monthly newsletter, and so it's linked to our website, but I also send it out in emails. But our newsletter also highlights, we have a student highlight in there. We also usually have a note from our principal. We have upcoming events, things that have happened, so check that out. We have meal resources. Within our website, you can actually apply for free and reduced lunch right on our website. But we do have a cafeteria at Smedley Learning Center where we are located. And so students are always able to go grab lunch at our school or breakfast. Transportation resources. So we sell bus passes for $25, monthly bus passes for $25. So go to Julie Cap in our main office to get a monthly bus pass. But also we have just basically like one-way tickets if students, couldn't buy a bus pass, or if they just needed to get home and back to the school, like we'll always provide some like one-way RTD passes as well. So students are never, they can always get to the school, hopefully. Technology resources. So check out on there. There's some cool deals for lower cost internet and laptop services. There's also some free downloads. So check that out for technology resources. Counseling, we do have, I was just highlighting we do have our college and career readiness counselors. That will help students get into, concurrent enrollment and CTE courses and all of that, and make sure that their courses are all looking good for the year. If they ever have questions, they can always go to their counselors or student advisor. And then we also have social workers for our students as well. So if a student is ever running into any problem whatsoever, if they're just having a hard time emotionally, please take advantage of our social workers. If a student also is having a hard time finding, if they're having a hard time finding meals or housing or parenting resources or anything like that, we really want to help our students. And so please connect with our social workers, and they are great outlets for that. So we have Florence, Tracy, and Jamie, and they are both awesome. So please connect with them. Academic resources, that highlights just some of the office hours and that kind of thing for our teachers, but also just some other resources that are available for the different subject areas. The My Denver card is awesome because it allows students to get into any of the libraries, so they can check out any books or just really get any of the resources from the libraries. It also gets students into the rec centers around Denver as well. So apply for that. You can apply for that right off of our website as well. All right, so required testing, our favorite thing to talk about, I'm sure. I just want to put this into an overview, but basically this is just kind of an overview of all of the different testing we'll do throughout the year with students. It's not fun. We don't love it. We would like to kick out testing as well, but it's something that we're required to do. And so we ask that our families please show up for those testing days. And our faculty works really well with families to make sure that, we are trying to be flexible to your guys' schedule as well, especially if you guys live a little ways away. But please help us out in that area because it's important that we fulfill that. All right, 6 pillars to success. So if you spend any time at Denver Online, you will hear about our 6 pillars. And that is because we actually really believe in these 6 pillars. We think that if our students can showcase these 6 pillars to success, they really will be successful at Denver Online, but ultimately they'll be pretty successful in life if they can really fulfill these and kind of nail these down. So the first thing is to attend. So how that works at Denver Online is students, we work differently than a traditional high school. At a traditional high school, you get credit for just coming into the building and sitting down in a seat. It's not how it really works at Denver Online, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it. But our students get attendance points for turning in coursework. So within their courses, they get full attendance points for that week if they're with their ability to showcase with their ability to turn in a week's worth of work. So within the school, within each course, and I'll show you in a second, there are weekly folders. So if a student is just keeping up with those weekly folders and turning in all of those assignments and coursework within that folder, they'll get full attendance points for that week. And so, yeah. And also they're getting credit for attending those connection days as well. So first one is to attend. Communication. So communication is really big at Denver Online. We have a 24-hour rule at our school, meaning that if a student reaches out to us, we should be able to communicate back with them within 24 hours. But then that same thing is swapped as well. So if we reach out to a student or a family, we expect that you guys will return that communication within 24 hours as well. That's just to make sure that we create an open dialogue and making sure that none of our students ever feel, or none of our families ever feel like they can't get a hold of us, or that they're just like alone in these courses. That's not what we want at all. We don't want a student to ever feel isolated, or that they're just running into this problem and no one's there to help them. We always want to make sure that we're helping that student move forward, or that family move forward. And so there's lots of ways to communicate at Denver Online. You can call a teacher or any faculty member. You can call us, email us. A lot of times teachers will use texting even. You can Zoom us, so that's what this is being recorded on. But basically Zoom is a virtual video conferencing system, which allows both the student and the faculty member to share their screen. It can turn into a virtual whiteboard. I can see you, you can see me. If we both have our video cameras on and our audio up, we can talk, just like we were sitting face-to-face, only it's virtual. So students can always get tutoring help even if they're not able to come into the building. That's another way. Students can always come into the building. We're open 5 days a week. Our teachers all have scheduled office hours where they're in the building. And so there's always someone there to help students. So please communicate. Next one is follow through. Basically to do what you say you're going to do. So that's something that we work on a lot. And it comes more naturally than to some than others. But basically it's just saying, a lot of times, you know, our teachers will make deals with students that, or, you know, try to create goals with them, and just trying to get that follow through, and trying to help them learn to, if they say they're going to do something, then we want them to actually complete it. And so that's the same thing on our faculty end. If we say we're going to do something, we better do it, because that's just, you know, something that we really, really value. Next up is academic commitment, and basically that's just saying that we want our students to be committed to learning. We all come with different skills. Some of us are better at math than others. Some of us are better at English than others. And so it's just saying, like, we don't have to be great at everything, but we just need to be committed to learning and growing. Resiliency is the next one, and that's a huge one, is our students' ability to bounce back. Now, we've been through this, and we know that, you know, it's basically not if a student will get behind, it's just when a student will get behind. It's hard transitioning to this school. It's, especially if you've never done online education before, it's tough. It is tough to learn all of these skills and just be, you know, more in control of your academic situation. And so a lot of times our students will accidentally get behind. You know, they'll slack off in an area and they'll get behind. And really, we just want to make sure that our students know, you know, it's okay, you know, but we're going to try to communicate with you and help you get back on track and set goals and try to make deals with you to make sure that we can get you back on track. And so we'll reach out a lot to the student when that happens, if they're getting behind. And we want our students to know that we're never mad. We're never, ever mad at our students. We just want to help you get back on track, and so that you're successful, and to help you build that resiliency of just saying, hey, like, you might be behind, or let's say that you didn't do very well on that test, or you didn't do as well on that project as you thought you might. That's okay. You know, you can always redo that assignment, or tweak it, or get feedback on it and be better the next time. And so it's a really cool skill for our students to learn. Finally, self-advocacy is so important to us. Unfortunately, like at our school, we can't always see the student's face. They're not just sitting right in front of us in a classroom. We can't always see how long it's taken that student to complete that math assignment, or how they're struggling to, read that book, or whatever that looks like. And so if a student is ever struggling, or with anything, honestly, any tech concerns, sometimes it's tough getting started and understanding all of the tech tools and all that. If they're ever struggling, we want them to reach out to us and advocate for themselves, and really just speak up, because we want to help. We want to make sure that they're successful, but we don't always know unless they tell us. And so same with parents. If you are seeing something that your student is needing, please tell us, because we do want to help. We just might not always know that that's happening. And so, yeah, self-advocacy is big. And that's the same goes with seeking out concurrent enrollment, or doing Ballarat, or whatever that looks like. Just being your best self-advocate is so, so important, so that we can really create a education that is really exciting to that student and meaningful to them. So the 6 pillars to success. All right, and then this is just kind of another model of showing those 6 pillars and how they kind of relate to the overall model of our school. So we always suggest parents do a 30-minute check-in every week. And so this kind of goes over what that might look like. We also have another video that basically shows exactly what the 30-minute check-in will look like. And so that's actually in another video that we'll have linked in the parent group in Schoology, and also it's also on our YouTube page as well. So please check that out to look just at the 30-minute check-in. But basically, to cover it here is basically we kind of suggest that that parents do their 30-minute check-in on like a Thursday, because we kind of like to see, okay, on that Thursday night, how's that student doing? Are they 80% done with that week's work or not? And if they are, great, they're on track. Friday will come, hopefully they'll get the rest of it done. But let's say that they're not, maybe they're only like 20% done. So with that, that week's worth of work. So in that case, you would have that conversation with your student and saying like, hey, maybe this weekend it seems like you already took your break. You kind of already took your weekend in the middle of the week. So this weekend, instead of doing anything with your friends or whatever, looks like you're staying home and doing homework. And so that's kind of what we suggest, but every family will do it differently, of course, and all are great. But also, just know your student's calendar. Within your parent Schoology accounts, you can always go in and look exactly what's due, when it's due. You can see what the student turned in. We'll show you more in that in the next upcoming slides. But please note the student's calendar when their connection days are, grad prep Fridays, or just any of that kind of stuff coming up, so that you can help support them as well. Please look at the grades. They're all in there in Schoology. So look at them, and if a student is struggling, maybe try to help them, either connect with the teacher, or maybe work with them through that assignment with yourself if you feel comfortable, or just checking in is just so important, and having those conversations. Looking at the progress in the course, seeing just where they're at, in if they're keeping up with the weekly folders, or if they're falling behind, and trying to figure out a way to navigate that so that they're successful. Discussing the 6 pillars, and basically just checking in on all those different things, like how are you communicating? Are you being resilient and bouncing back? Are you advocating for yourself? And what's that looking like for that student? Showing up. Like, how are they attending? Are they attending? When they're actually at the school building, are they getting anything done? Just having those conversations, I think, is the biggest thing, just to say that, hey, I'm watching you and I'm rooting for you and I want to help you. And just kind of, if we can have our parents on our team, man, that makes it so much easier, because we really want to work together to help that student move forward. And then just setting up an action plan for the rest of the week and the week following. So just trying to establish, what needs to get done. When does it need to get done? Hey, do we have that family event, 2 weeks from now? So maybe we can, instead of, worrying about it when we're going to Nebraska or wherever for that family reunion, maybe we can, really work hard on stuff this week and next week before we leave, so that you have all of that coursework done before we even leave. So when we go on this little vacation, you don't even have to worry about it. Just setting up these different action plans can really help students really learn those skills of how do you set up yourself for success in your calendar, and really kind of helping them establish that. So within our school, we have a couple of different academic tools. So the first one is Schoology, and I'll show you some more slides in a second. So Schoology is our learning management system. That's where all of our courses are located. That's pretty much our home base for all of the courses. Then we use Zoom. That's a virtual video conferencing system. So that's what this is recorded through. But that's also another way that we connect with families and students is through tutoring sessions and that kind of thing, and meetings and all that. And then finally, we have our learning center, where it's our physical location, where we have our connection days and all of our special events. So for our in-person days, these happen at our actual physical location at Smedley Learning Center. And these were built in to basically just support the whole child. So a couple of years ago, we were completely an online school, pretty much. We really didn't see our students very much. Our students really didn't see us or each other very much. And we were just really missing that sense of connectedness, and our students were struggling because of it. And so what we realized is that there are a lot of students that they need that sense of community. They need that sense of support where they know their teachers and their teachers know them, and not just know them virtually, but they know them, you know, they've had real life conversations in person as well. So there's a lot of things that happen on these in-person days. But the general requirements are that we have connection days, and those are every Tuesday from 9 to 2 for our 9th, 10th, and 11th graders. And basically what happens on those days is there's everything from service learning activities, like that's where we'll do the Children's Hospital Colorado service learning program. We have college and career readiness activities. We bring in those outside organizations to lead workshops. We'll have science labs so they can get credit for science. Just lots of different things happening on those days that are just really important. And we've really realized the value of meeting at a physical location and getting everyone together, and just, you know, really supporting students and getting to know them on a different level. We also have Grad Prep Fridays, which are for 12th graders or any student that is taking concurrent enrollment courses. So that's just a shorter day, basically kind of the same types of things as our connection days, but that's around 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So it's just a shorter day. And primarily it's just making sure that our students are jumping through the right hoops to get them ready and prepared for graduation. We also have academic support days on Thursdays, and that's from 9 a.m. to 2:35 p.m. And those are they're not as scheduled out, I guess, as their connection days, but they still provide more structure than some of our other days that are just more like open labs at our school building. But those were primarily created for our 9th graders, because we were realizing that our 9th graders were actually, they were coming into our school and they just needed more support than some of our other students. And so this was just, these days were primarily created for them. But basically, those days, students can they can kind of like earn their way out of them. And so if they're able to show that they are, you know, able to keep up with their coursework, communicate, advocate, all those things, kind of earn their way out of going to those Thursday academic support days. So in general, the in-person days, we do try to have, you know, all of our students go to them. We do realize that there are some students that are just not going to be able to make them. They live way too far away. They're abroad. They have, you know, rigorous dance schedules or athletic practice or whatever that might look like in their life. They might have, you know, be in the hospital or, you know, have, you know, these other things that they're trying to work through. And so there are exemptions. Exemptions are possible for some of those students, of course. So yeah. All right, so moving on. So for Schoology, you do have to log in through a specific Denver Online link. And so let's see here. Oops, I don't know where. I thought we had well, I guess we don't. I thought we had a slide in there that actually showed Schoology more, but basically you can log into Schoology, and within Schoology there are different weekly folders within each of the courses, and students, again, attendance is based on the student's ability to complete that week's worth of work. So within each of the courses, there will be a Schoology folder, and this is all shown in the 30-minute check-in video as well. So it'll have more of a clearer picture of what Schoology actually looks like, how to really see all of the assignments in there, how to check for the grades, all of those things. So please check out the 30-minute check-in video as well. But yeah, so Schoology, check that out, the 30-minute check-in video. It's also on YouTube and in the parent group, so look in that. And then Zoom is kind of like what Zoom looks like, but it's also in this video as well, kind of like that. But we use Zoom for tutoring and all of our special meetings and things like that. So yeah, so that kind of is a overview of our school. And so, and just kind of all the specialty resources and things that make Denver Online unique. So please go and check out that 30-minute check-in video so that you really have a better understanding of Schoology and how to navigate that as well. But hopefully you learned something here. And if you do ever have any questions whatsoever, please don't hesitate to ask, reach out to any of us within that slide doc. It'll be linked directly in there to all the faculty contact names, emails, numbers, Zoom links, all of that. But you can also just find it off our website under the contact tab as well. And so, yeah, so thanks for joining me for Denver Online's Parent Virtual Orientation. And I hope you have a really great time at Denver Online.